Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm N Allen.
And I'm Erich McElroy. Good evening.
Good evening. The twice weekly streaming comedy show where we try and sort out some of the problems. The problems that other people aren't solving. I know that other people are solving some other problems. I saw recently that Bill Gates is fixing climate change. He's got a book out called, I've written it down, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster. And that book is available in paperback. So, I mean, that's a great plan. Chop down some trees. That'll help, Bill. For the love of God. You might as well walk up to an oak tree and slap it in the nuts. And technically, acorns and nuts, that's why we get away with that joke. Welcome along with jokes already on the show. As we plough on through solving problems, you can get in touch. Is that the one for it? It is. You can join the conversation wherever you're watching it. You should be able to send a message that we could see. We'll definitely see it if you get yourself to our main YouTube. On that one over there, youtube.com/comic solving problems, as we plough on through the evening. We might mention every so often that we're incredibly poor and you could make some donations via our Ko-fi link. That's up there as well. Thank you if you've already bought tickets to see this event. It's difficult to know what to call it. This thing.
Movement is happening.
It's a movement, which is a word also used to describe someone's stool, so it's appropriate. So yeah, sit back, relax, get yourself a drink. Let's do this. Let's do some funnies and solve some problems. So,
there we go.
Mr. Erich McElroy, I think we've covered all bases. What you got for us?
I've got a significant problem. It's not one that you and I face on a daily basis, but it is one that is affecting the Republican Party. And the question is, how do you effectively attack Joe Biden?
Ooh.
Yeah, not physically, obviously. We're talking about actual political rhetoric, not the insurrection kind sponsored by Donald Trump. But the thing is, Joe Biden is likable. They've tried to call him a radical. They tried to call him tired. They called him Sleepy Joe. They tried corrupt. And he's hard to attack because he ends up having headlines like this one. Joe Biden, dogs, Major, and Champ will be the first presidential pups in the White House for 4 years. I mean, Steve, accusing him of being a dog lover doesn't have the bite you'd expect.
Hey.
There's going to be a few of these.
All right, okay.
Brace yourselves now. He's got puppies. He's got doggies. He's got Champ. He's got Major. And the thing is, they're manly dogs. They're German Shepherds. They're fucking real. They're not like the cockapoo little piece of shit that we bought. This is a real dog, Steve. I mean, I love Buddy, but I mean, come on. You're not looking at me walking Buddy going, well, there's a real man. You're looking at him going, there's a man who did what his daughter wanted him to do. Now, they've struggled. They want to attack Joe Biden. They want to drag him down, right? But he's got doggies and he put him in the White House. So, you might have heard of Newsmax. Have you heard of Newsmax?
No, is it some sort of sanitary thing?
No, it's different than that. Although some of the stuff they put out there is pretty, unsanitary. Right. It's like Fox News for people who thinks that Fox News has gone, well, to the dogs, as it were.
Yeah.
You know what? And I'll tell you, on Newsmax, they've got quite a tale to tell.
Is that one?
That's one, and here's the clip.
Did you see the dog? I want to show you something I noticed. Doesn't he look a little rough?
He did one.
You see? He's done it as well. They're going after the dog, Steve. That's what they're doing with Joe Biden. Now, the thing is, he did that little pun. I'm going to play it again. Let's see how he did the full run-up to it and what he did with it, and then where he went from there.
Did you see the dog? I want to show you something I noticed. Doesn't he look a little rough? I love dogs, but this dog needs a bath and a comb and all kinds of love and care. I've never seen a dog in the White House like this.
I love dogs. He didn't do anything with the pun. He stepped on his own pun. He didn't even enjoy the moment. I don't think he realized he did it. But he said, I love dogs, the way a man says when he doesn't love dogs. That's not how you talk with. I mean, I do genuinely love our cockapoo. He's very cute. That's how you say you love your dog. You love your dog. What's with the dog? But I mean, maybe he's suspicious of the dog because it is a German Shepherd. It's a foreign dog. You know what the president should do? Should get an American dog. What's an American dog, Steve? It's a hot dog. It's hot and steamy inside. That's an American dog. But this is a newsman. Even on Newsmax, allegedly, he's going to bring in some experts. He's going to do better than bring in experts. He's going to bring in historians to talk about the dog.
I don't know. I don't know how much love and care he is getting. Let's bring in the historians stuff. Craig Shirley, Reagan biographer, presidential historian. Craig, welcome back. And Doug Weed, presidential historian, former advisor to George H.W. Bush.
These guys are serious historians, Steve. They aren't going to bark up the wrong tree.
That's one as well.
Yeah. They're there to set the record straight. Is this dog being abused? Is this the kind of dog we want in the White House? Is Joe Biden a communist? All of these things are going to be answered right here.
No, not at all. Thank you for having us. No, he looks very dirty and disheveled, and very unlike a presidential dog like Millie or Victory or something else in the past in the White House.
He's just not like those old dogs we used to have in the White House. He's a dirty dog. He's a bad dog. He's a bad dog. He leaves us staying on the floor, even worse than other people did. I don't know what I'm talking about. Why the fuck am I talking about a dog? I mean, I knew this news channel was bullshit, but this is insane. But the thing is, let's have a look back at the most recent dogs that were in the White House.
They were going to put a muzzle on the dog, and I thought that was a good idea, but then it gets even more violent.
That's right, Steve. You got to put a muzzle on Mike Pence because he gets angry, and you don't want to trigger the dog. See what I did there? I did one of your reversal things.
Yeah.
Like he talks about the dog, and I try and make it look like he's talking about Mike Pence. But those always confuse me. But I think I did it.
Been nearly a whole year. We've been doing these for nearly a whole year, twice a week. Nice. So,
That's it.
I didn't. Is that dog the one that we just saw? Donald Trump's.
No, it wasn't. That was actually a dog that was involved in the terrorist killing the terrorist al-Baghdadi, and the dog was instrumental in the case because he sniffed out some of the bombs or something. But the great story about that incident was, one, the whole time Trump looked really nervous around the dog, and Pence was actually quite cozy with the dog. And the entire time Trump referred to the dog as a he, but it was a she. And so the White House then denied for 2 days that the dog was female. And then the owner, the person in charge of the dog, released a statement to say, actually, it's a she. Then he retracted that statement because the president contradicted him. And to this day, the dog has now been neutered.
Gender fluid. I mean, if ever there was going to be a year to get away with it, that kind of mistake, that would be the year.
Not in the Trump White House. I mean, we were worried about it being a female dog because then I might try and grab the bitch.
Yeah.
But didn't want to say that.
To the comment section. In fact, we can kind of do a comment cam. I tell you what, I'm slightly wearing my earpiece slightly too tight today. I'm going to rip my own neck off for this. Let's have a look. Eric's tie is it really there? Is that for this week's? It is, isn't it? Because Brit says hi. What's wrong with this tie? I think that's not a bad tie for what we normally
My wife
get.
doesn't like this tie. Is she watching the show? She's never watched one before.
Brit says, already joking about nuts, and then brackets, my autocorrect change it to butts, so I'm making no judgments anymore. Later on in the show, definitely I've got some bum jokes. Stick around.
Ooh,
Stick around.
there we go. Exquisite Tenderness says, hey. He's worried about what's in your ear. So there you go.
Yeah, put it on the other ear to try and see if it would fit better, but it doesn't. Jack M says, is it snakeskin? Have you got a snakeskin tie on the go there, Eric?
No, it's golden with blue. It was a nice tie. I've had this tie for a long time, longer than some of you have been alive.
Looks like
Charlotte said,
go for it. Go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to move on. Charlotte, did we say Charlotte said evening, boys? I can't
No,
remember.
evening. Hello.
No, there we go. Hello.
Chris Curling says, looks like a slow news week in the USA. No Trump gaffes, therefore no news to report. So true. Imagine that. They'll actually have to get proper news now.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Let's see. Someone's noticed my Olympia beer sign, which always gets a mention. Exquisite Tenderness. Never heard of it. That's because it's just been discontinued. It's from the northwest of the United States, and that sign was made by my grandfather.
Those are the days.
Yep, those are the days.
Is there more noise outside? Someone flushing the toilet in your house? Is that what that noise
No,
is?
I think there is a bathroom nearby my new office, and I share a wall with the shower, which I think someone has decided to use for the first time during our show.
Brilliant. Good to know. Was the dog story the lead? Oh, says Martin S. That is absolutely spot on. Loving it. I think we're up to date with some of your work. Yeah, right. So we can keep the messages coming through. We've got them all working. Beautiful work. Oh, Mark, also, you just see this one saying, being neutered ruins the dog's gender fluid. Good point. Well made. YouTube
We want to be
tells
factually accurate with these things.
You could chuck some money in the Kofi pot if you've enjoyed the latest in the world of dog news. That'd be the way to do it. But I can move on to solve a story if it helps in any way while the shower's going. I wanted to solve the problem of how we can move towards ending lockdown without the fear, because a lot of people are getting nervous about whether it's going to be done properly or not. Let's have a look. There's this headline in The Guardian. The PM reveals the roadmap, and that's good to know that there is a roadmap to getting out of this mess. Although, let's be honest, if at the end of this period the people who've been driving the country end up doing this, we won't be surprised. But we've been following the roadmap, and yet we've ended up here. Wait a minute. Oh. It's likely, and we all know it's likely. But there was it was yesterday, the news from Boris Johnson actually telling us what was going to happen as we finally get out of this lockdown, and it was a time for optimism. Boris Johnson said, "The crocus of hope is poking through the frost." I mean, that's a good metaphor. Not the only one they could have gone with. We managed to get a hold of other metaphors that they thought of going with, including the toast of freedom is about to spring up from the toaster of oppression. Other options include the finger of liberty has scratched through the single-ply loo roll of lockdown. There's the fact that the hot cross bun of sanity is rising in the fan-assisted oven of cautious government intervention. Or they could have gone with the lipstick peen of the dog of our future is aroused by the used slipper of data-driven policy. I think they probably went with the right one out of all those. Fair play to them. Then there was the issue, the front page of the Times. We saw this today, and that's the end is in sight, but there is a reminder that the salons are definitely not open. I think that's what that front page does for us. I mean, the state of Boris Johnson yesterday, that was when he looks like we all feel. He looks absolutely knackered. He was coughing like he was trying to cheat at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's like he's trying to improve the R rate around him on his own. So he did have, however, it doesn't matter how he looks, he had words that would make us feel better. And he said that Boris Johnson focused on data, not dates. That's good. That's scientific. I like it. He's talking about data and not dates. So let's look at some of the facts. It all starts on March the 8th. There is a 5-week gap between each one, which means things happen on March 29th, April 12th, May 17th, and they're all dates. You can't say that you're data-driven when all you're doing is listing dates. If the data that you've got comes from a calendar, it's a flipping date. That's what's going on there. But it's okay because, look, there's the 4 steps to freedom. And yes, they're all date-related, but it doesn't matter because dates happen. As long as we can count through the days, we'll get to the dates. As long as we have a government that can count, we'll be okay. As long as the people who gave us a 4-step plan can count. Am I setting this up enough so that we'll get a lot of release when the punchline comes? As long as the people who are giving us 4 steps can actually count, things will be fine. Let's take a look at some of the analysis of the various steps. We can see in the mirror, step 1 comes in 2 parts. Well, then it's a 5-step process. If one step has 2 steps in it, it's 2 steps, so in total that's 5 steps. What the hell is going on? 5 is not even a difficult number to count to. You can count on the fingers of one hand. You can use your other hand to point to it. I don't know what's going on anymore. These people are ridiculous. I mean, it's a stupid thing. I've no... Felt like it was needed. So, in answering my own question, how do we feel good about the lockdown easing? Don't think we do. Got no faith in it. So, let's bring up the old thing there. There's some special effects.
I think we know where our copyright claim is going to come in this episode. I mean, the thing about him doing this based on dates, I think that makes sense for Boris Johnson because we really don't know how many wives and partners he's had. So for him, he may be benchmarking this based on who comes after, what's her name?
Yeah.
It's about time for him to have a new lady, isn't it? I mean, he has the lady, they have a child, he moves on.
Yeah, any day now. Well, he's taking it cautiously. Give him 5 weeks and he'll work on that.
That's true. There's no point breaking up right now because he can't go out.
Yeah, that's true. It could be the longest relationship he's had. Martin S. just says, curb yourself, Steve. I'm sure I will do when the copyright claim comes in. Bayerberg, he never cared about dates. He's not sure how many kids he has either. Nice work. How to get to the pile.
I did not steal that from the comments. I did not read that from the comments.
Britt says, you've got to be careful where your crocus pokes out, That's true. I'm not allowed in that home base anymore.
He usually tries to throw in some French, so I'm surprised he didn't go for like a croque monsieur.
Interesting. The only dates Johnson is interested in is when someone says, I'm late. Oh, God.
Victoria says that Times front page makes it look like Bojo is the end.
He's not looking at his healthiest, is he? Bless him.
I mean, with the whole salons opening, what do you think? Should I keep the locks?
Well, it's interesting because pubs, you can drink outside pubs before hairdressers open. So there will be a time when we will be able to meet up and drink, but you will look in absolute state. So it's going to be interesting to test the level of vanity that we have in the UK. See, I mean, we like a drink, but also people like to get their hair done. I mean, I'll be all right drinking down there. Be fine. Mother Nature sorted that one out for me.
Sort of. I've got to get some mousse for my hair because the gel isn't holding well enough now.
Is that what it is?
That's it. That's totally it. Let's see. Have we missed anything?
Britt says the USA worried about the president dog looking unkempt. UK Boris, just look at him. Definitely needs a bath and a good combing. And probably some worm tablets. You never can tell.
Did you do Bayerberg's message? Did we get that one? No.
If it's the one that was the say like on similar to your joke. We didn't do the balloons one. Do the balloons one if you want.
Thought there would be a ton of balloons, party caps, homemade alcohol. Not sure if you've heard, but they're going to let us out at the end of May 2022.
It may happen. How did we not do that joke? Oh. Feels like the kind of terrible joke I should have done.
That's going to come in year 2 because we are coming up on our first anniversary of doing this show as the first anniversary of Lockdown looms. So it's going to be a special moment, Steve.
Special?
Should we get together?
I mean, I don't know if we should have screenshots of the first episode because I've aged so much. So much.
I've gone through. We can go through the various stages of. Well, we can go through that when I did get my hair cut by that woman outside who didn't wear a mask, and I thought I was going to die. Yeah. She basically my hair was shorter than yours is now.
Yeah, you look like prison. It kind of like prison Eric. You should have done a character. I feel that there was something in there.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you're enjoying the show, keep the messages coming through. Martin S just says "fa." Yeah, it needed that kind of. It was almost like the French sketch from the other day. Yeah, you can chuck some money in the Ko-fi pot. Ko-fi.com/comic solving problems. I think it might be time for another little problem.
Time for a problem, Steve. And this, Steve, is the cost of living and housing. As you can see, I'm squeezed in here next to the shower, still going. So somebody's really enjoying themselves in there. As you know, I just moved house not too long ago. If you've been watching the show for a while, this is a different setup, although it is coming along. It's getting better, isn't it? It's getting a little display going on.
I like the uplights.
The uplight. The baseball is over there. My Babe Ruth signed baseball is there. So early on from the beginning of season 1, we talked a lot about that. It's not actually signed by Babe Ruth, but by my father-in-law. But the thing is, obviously living in London is very expensive, and you don't always get the space that you want. Sometimes you get your studio next to the shower. So I sometimes do think maybe it's time to just get on a plane, head back to the U.S., see what I could get. And I've looked at a range of different places around the United States to see what's affordable, what will be different than London. And I was thinking about Lake Tahoe, California, where I could pick up this place, for example, Nice little house there. So Zillow is a great website. In America, they put a price on every single home, so you can look at. I especially spend a lot of time looking at my house that my father lives in. It's got the value of the house on there. I don't know if they have the equivalent here, but Zillow, this is a place in Lake Tahoe that popped up. I thought, all right, something different. It's got a couple bedrooms, looking good. $650,000, which even with the pound suffering after Brexit, that's like £3. Could pick up that house, no problem. But let's have a look inside, Steve. Let's see what we've got inside this house. Might need a little bit of work. It's a little bit. It's not really my style. It's a bit kitsch. And it's nice. They had people come around. They know they want to sell the house. They want to get the most money for it. Did they go around and make the best of the house? If we zoom in a little bit on the next, if we jump to the next shot here, they've just piled shit in the corner. That's a good way to clean up. I mean, that's what you do when people are coming around. Always makes you feel like there's not going to be a pile of rats under there at the same time. But whatever.
Is it on a slope as well? That is one hell of
I don't know
a
if
slope.
that might be the way I did the screenshot.
But the lamp is upright. Oh God!
But the carpet, it could be the carpet is just tilted at an angle, and that makes it look like the illusion. It's like an Escher painting, isn't it?
You go upstairs, you'll be there all night.
It reminds me, I visited my cousin's house in New Mexico, which was kind of cluttered like that, but without having been tidied. And they were pack rats, bless them. They're sweet people, but their house was just full of stuff. And I remember sitting in a chair and reaching down to touch the floor, and there were just bullet shells on the floor.
God bless America.
It is America, Steve, because you might have your gun over here on this side, but then you need the bullets on this. You just want to reach down there and you knock over your can of Olympia beer and shoot bullets.
How are we not sponsored?
I don't know. So, all right, let's have a little bit more of the house. Let's see what else it features. Look at that. It's nice. The living room is close to the garage. That's a lovely view, isn't it? Just open up the sliding doors.
Keep an eye on the car.
Keep an eye on the car. And, the kitchen's right there because America, what do I want to do? I want to make my breakfast. I want to jump in the car. That's why we call it fast food. That's what it's all about. I might need to get out of this house in a hurry because it's full of shit. So let's look a little bit more around the house. Let's have a look at the living room and see. Oh, my dear God. What? I didn't realize there'd be guests over during the photo shoot to sell the house. What?
Wow.
This is incredible. I mean, I think we file this under not much to do in Lake Tahoe. But, I mean, I don't know, Steve. If you were going to sell a house and you had it full of mannequins that you had carefully dressed in dolls, would you think, I'm not going to put them outside. It's winter. They might catch a chill.
I'd put the one in the yellow dress nearer the front because she's the best. What?
I like that you've already rated them. Can we zoom around the room a little bit? Let's see a little bit closer. Look under the counter. Oh, they've tucked away the one with no arms. Oh. I
could already tell you my dad would have done the joke. Well, she seems harmless. That definitely would have been a joke he did.
I love that there's a bottle of cleaner there. So they've clearly given the dolls a little bit of a touch-up. I think the one in the middle there, or on the left standing, is pregnant. I can't quite tell. And then they've got some sass, because they got their hands on their head like,
Wow. I thought they put the cleaner down there because she was the cleaner. It's like, you picked the wrong one. Pick the one with arms. I mean, none of them are going to clean, but your closest to it would be one with arms.
Maybe they cleaned a little too much. That's where the arms went. All right, the whole house can't be like that. Let's look at the rest of the living room. Let's see what we've got going on there. Oh, my God. Well, there's only one mannequin, but look at that fireplace. I mean, the angels, the judgment. That's just bizarre. And then they've got the Virgin Mary over to the right, so at least they're God-fearing people.
Yeah. You wake up from a nap there, you're going to think you've died.
Oh, Jesus. Maybe that's what happened to those women. They were alive.
Yeah.
They've been turned.
They've put a lamp in the middle of that fireplace so you actually will see the light. The number of times they've walked into that glass coffee table walking towards the light.
It's almost just like a tiny bit much. But can you go back to that picture real quick? And then you think, all right, well, there's only one doll in this room, plus the Virgin Mary. She doesn't count. But there's a door open into another room, Steve. Can we go into that next room now? Can we check out what's in there? Oh, for fuck's sake. I mean,
yeah.
There's so much to unpack. I mean, you've got one person who's wearing a suit. So I don't know. Can you be are you a gender neutral mannequin? I don't quite know how that works. You've got the sultry one on the floor. And then you've got the kids. You've got the babies.
You got the naked redhead.
Naked redhead. So you just have to think, Steve. I mean, I don't know. What offer would you make on this house?
Are the mannequins included?
I don't know. But it does make one wonder, who does this house belong to? And then I found out it's this person. The bodybuilder who married his sex doll, your friend Steve, and one of your favorites. It's his summer home.
Oh, we've talked about Yuri about 3 times on the show.
So there you go. It's Yuri's place. He's got a little cottage. I know he lives in Eastern Europe somewhere, but I can't remember where he lived. But he's got a place in Lake Tahoe.
Ukraine, I think.
You know, it's for the cousins.
No. Yeah. Well, I bet it is for the cousins as well.
And the kids.
Who are probably also their cousins.
And the Virgin Mary.
Wow. Well, let's get some of the messages up here then. Martin S. says remake of Carry On Screaming with female mannequins. Where is Slow Bottom? Nice. It also reminds me of the film House of Wax. I know they remade it with Paris Hilton in it. You know, what a great way to make sure you want at least some of the cast to die. But yeah, it's got that kind of vibe to it. As you say, they were probably real people, but somehow he's found a way of Kim Cattralling them into being mannequins.
Edward Rawson says, Angels in Flames. That is confusing.
Mark is, here we go, Doctor Who reference. A weeping angel, don't blink. You'd be sat in front of the fireplace like that all night. Just do one eye at a time. Why do they never do one eye at a time in Doctor Who?
I can't answer that question.
Oh my days, it's ruined that entire David Tennant, Matt Smith era. Wow.
I don't know anything about those peoples.
Mark says Lloyd Grossman would have had a field day in there. Who would live in a house like this? A pervert. Yeah. I don't do a Lloyd Grossman impression, as you can tell. Let's get a comment cam, get some more of them going.
Let's see, Brit's here. I can see. I've heard that you have to tell buyers if a death has occurred in a property. I think they should also add previously used by a life-size doll collector.
It's terrifying, isn't it?
You just hope whoever it was just collecting the dolls.
Well, yeah, all right. But if they're only collecting them, how comes that one lost an arm and the redhead was naked? Yeah.
Oh, the redhead's always got to be naked, Steve.
Something does not add up there. Right, I think we're up to date. I've not done any Twitter check. The Twitter thing's on the screen. You can get in touch via that as well. Keep the messages coming through. Do you know what, though? It's time to move on to another story. And seeing as you've reminded us of one of the most important things we've ever talked about on the show, which is Yuri, the guy who likes his sex dolls. Let's do an update. Let's do the latest. The latest problem is he okay? How do we manage to sort him out? Reminder for those who don't know. Here he is with the sex doll that he married. They're on the beach. I don't know how they got there. I'm presuming he drove, and he gave her a lift. And I mean, that is a nice place to be, because worst case scenario, she's probably going to float. So they're having a great time. And then we heard that she was damaged just before Christmas. She went in to be repaired, which is a shame. They'd only just been married. They're a newlywed couple, and I'm sure they were happy about it. She seemed, rather taciturn. But then the latest update, the builder has been cheating on the sex doll wife with a bizarre object while she's getting repaired. Well, I am outraged. That is as bad as Donald Trump doing some Stormy Daniels when Melania was pregnant. At the one time when she needs his support, she's being repaired. This makes a mockery of the vow between a man and an inanimate object. It's almost as if somehow it means nothing. But anyway, we can see what he's been getting up to. That's his new partner. I don't really know what that is. Kind of like Madonna's outfit from the 90s got trapped in a car door, or it's just the rude bit of a Dalek. I don't really fully know what's going on there, but he seems to be enjoying it. And of course, maybe he was just hanging around with some sort of a toy, but it looks like some kind of dirty's been done, because one of his 99,000 followers, and by the way, 99,000 followers. This YouTube channel that we broadcast on, like 200 people. We get 200 people. It gets 99,000 followers. Why am I spending all day writing jokes and filming conversations with myself when all I should be doing is filming myself dry humping the bread bin? And we'd end up with more views. But anyway, 99,000 followers. One of them said, "Hey, are you cheating on your wife?" And he said, "Looks like I've got a new passion." You dirty man. Dirty. But who knows what it is? It's an odd shape, an odd thing. According to one website, it looks like a metal mask.
Okay.
So I thought, look, that's probably the dodgiest, sexiest thing that anyone is getting up to with a mask, until we look at least one website when we find out that models are selling vagina-scented masks and charging double if they're stained with urine. I think I'm done with society. Like, society got the opportunity. They were asked, do you want to wear a mask so that you could help other people not catch the potentially deadly COVID? And some people were like, can it smell of ladies' bits? Oh, God. It's disgraceful. So there's an advert where you can buy them in case you're interested. In the ad, this one person who's selling them said that your mask looks ordinary, but little do they know, the inside of your mask smells like my beep. And that's what bothers me about this. Because of all the things I've liked about people wearing masks, my favourite one has been, you can't tell if anyone's got bad breath anymore. And then people go and get masks that smell like that. And we stood next to people in lifts going, oh, gargle, would you? So, it's terrible. But there is one piece of news that I like about this. According to the newspaper report, it said, should be noted that COVID can remain active on surfaces and can be transmitted via fecal matter on the used knickers. So the message is, if you are going to buy a mask that has been worn in a lady's underpants for at least a week, it's okay to do that as long as you wash it first. Enjoy yourself. Oh, God, people.
That's just left a
bad taste
bad
right
taste in
under the
my
nose.
mouth.
Yeah.
just after you take off the mask, just
Like that.
want it waxed. You didn't want it. You didn't want to grab the video of Yuri with his new girlfriend.
No, I didn't actually watch the video. I just did stills. Did you watch the video?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What does he do in it?
Oh. He basically like rolls around with the mask, and then he puts it on his head and goes. Arr! It's very strange.
It must be disappointing, because if you're doing that level of weirdness and you put a mask near you, you must want it to try and like suck your face in, like Stanley Ipkiss in the film The Mask. Like that's. Apart from he's so dodgy, the catchphrase wouldn't be smoking; it'd be poking or something like that. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean that would actually make more sense than what he's done.
Yeah. Somebody stop me, because I'm a weirdo.
I think we should send him a link to that house in Tahoe. Let's see, any more?
Party, because I'm dodgy. Right, Victoria says, goes to show it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Horny Toaster.
We accept all kinds here. Yeah. On the Comic Solving Problems. No remake of Carry On Screaming with female mannequins. Oh, did you read that one?
No.
I lost track now, but we've read. Did you read that?
No. Oh, no. One about the Carry On film.
You read that one?
I did read that.
You did.
Mark Randall says, somebody spank me.
I mean, even Stormy Daniels got $330,000. But I mean, the mannequin, the sex doll, what has she gotten? She's been
repaired, broken,
tossed aside. She's not even been recycled.
There was one quote where apparently, because he's upset that she's been repaired, he said, I can't stand without her. Now, I don't know if he meant like I can't stand to be without her, or he was using her as support. I mean, she can't stand either because they've not installed the gyroscope or some weird shit like that.
That's brilliant.
This puts forward the question about Gwyneth Paltrow's candles. Do they smell of ammonia? Special order only. Surely, if Gwyneth has wee-weed on the candles, they're not going to light, are they? And I never want to be able to answer that question.
Depends on what she's been drinking. Martin S. says, could he not just have made to do with a biscuit barrel?
Yeah. Although on that, Mark points out, he says, don't dry hump the bread bin, the crumbs. Oh, yeah, that is true.
Let's see. Someone else has picked up on the whole bad breath thing. Edward has said, not knowing who has bad breath, do we have to add Listerine to those who've been hit hard in the pandemic?
Yes, we definitely do. And probably some flipping bold 2-in-1. Chris says, must be holidaying on Sheppey. There's a pallet on the beach. Get yourself down there, Yuri. You can enjoy yourself a pallet.
Gotta love a pallet.
Have a look. So we keep the messages coming through, and I realise that Victoria's saying she's doing a joint effort with Brit. They're tag teaming against us now with their comments. Challenging.
Good. That's what we like to see. Yep, I'm just checking there. And I can see some Ko-fis have come through. So if you would like to contribute to the show that you have just witnessed and you're thinking, these guys, they've done some highfalutin comedy about dogs and check stalls and houses in Lake Tahoe. We'd like to contribute to that.
Yeah, but at least I definitely did deal with the big story of the day, which is lockdown. I did that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. And I dealt with the big story of the day that Biden's brought dogs into the White House.
Because Trump's not there now. What are you going to do?
And there was puns in that story and everything. So you can just pop on Ko-fi. It takes whatever currency you're paying with, and you can say, I'd buy these guys a drink. And soon you can. So we need that money so we can afford to go back to the pub. 21st of June. It's guaranteed to happen because Boris Johnson has said.
Yeah, and he's not doing this by data. He's doing it by dates.
Yeah.
Which I think he thinks is plural.
He's done it by data, isn't he?
He's not. They're all dates.
He's done it by Star Trek. Data.
Star Trek reference. It's been a few weeks. Well done. We've had a Doctor Who tonight, so it's all right.
Too much Doctor Who. I don't understand any of that.
Martin S says, what would Gwyneth say in French? Oui, oui. All over the mask. I feel like you've been waterboarded, but even worse than being waterboarded. Oh, Gwyneth.
For Gwyneth, I would. Anyway, so yeah, chuck us a coffee. That'd be great. A Ko-fi coffee. Did we decide how do we want to pronounce it last time?
I still don't know. I feel like when they invented it, they probably thought it'd be called coffee, but no one's ever said it as that. So
yeah, it's Ko-fi. Because then you'd be like, well, you're going to buy me a coffee? How are you going to buy me coffee? All the shops are closed. So you have to say it differently, but honor the fact that they've named it something else.
I'm on water anyway, so if you could...
Yeah.
I mean, I would say if you could contribute the cost of water, I'd very much appreciate that, especially when you see how bloody expensive it is in WH Smith's these days.
Well, I would go for a whiskey.
Okay, well, very different.
Yeah, Ko-fi.
Okay. As the Tuesday one over and
steam
done
from
with...
the shower has gone to my head.
The Tuesday one over and done with. I think we're all sorted. I can't be bothered to get the book out. It's in the bag. You could have a look on Amazon for Lasted Another Year Despite a Pandemic. I was on BBC Shropshire again today talking about that. That was fun.
Damn, look at you, social climber.
I mean, let's be honest. I used to be broadcasting on stations, and now I'm just turning up on the flipping phone. I'm effectively... This lockdown has turned me from radio host to flipping radio phone-in person. Because I called in, admittedly I was booked in for it, for me to say what I watch on telly and then to take part in their TV quiz, which, by the way, I got the joint top score. But, this flipping lockdown. This lockdown has ended my career and meant that I now spend time sitting around taking money from the government and then broadcasting from my home, which is actually what Boris Johnson does. Gets paid by the government, works where he works from home, same sort of thing.
Okay. Well, you were paid by the TV license when you were at on the MASH report, and
I've just been a leech.
Kind of the same thing.
I'm just a leech on society.
Just the same thing. So we'll be back on Thursday, and it should be a good one. And I'm sure we'll be bringing up the latest hard-hitting news on what's happening in Lake Tahoe and Newsmax. We'll just do continual updates. We're going to basically go through property per episode now.
That works. Hey, if we can get sponsored by Zoopla, we'll have a slice of that action.
Yeah, there we go.
Brilliant. Okay, so till Thursday, 9 o'clock. Are we all up to date?
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.